everyone, this is Lara here to do another book review. Sorry, the lighting's not too good right now. I think one of the bulbs is burned on here, and I've got the window open, but it's 7 at night, so the sun is going down, and yeah, the light is not good. There's nothing else I can do, but I wanted to do this review right now. I just finished the book, and I just wanted to make a video on it while it's still fresh in my mind, because I did have some quite strong feelings about it. We'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, the book that I just read is Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater. I know what you're going to say, another paranormal romance, but I explained that in my last video, so I'm not going into it again. Before I start about the book, I actually quite like the cover. I think the light color is a little bit too, was kind of, not cheesy is a good word, but cutesy. But I like it, and it's simple and a pretty design, and there's this, like, the data on the eye is like this red blot, like a red blood stain, which is pretty cool. But anywho, Shiver is a paranormal romance with wolves. So it's basically the anti-Twilight. It's like Twilight for all of the Team Jacob girls, because, you know, the wolf is really the love interest in this one. So all those girls who were disappointed with that, you know, Jacob and Bella didn't end up together, this is the book for them. But it's not the book for me. It's about a girl named Grace who's 17 years old. 6 years previously, when she was 11, she was attacked by wolves in her backyard. She lives on the edge of a forest, so there were wolves around, I guess, and they pulled her off her tire swing, and she was bitten, and then all of a sudden one of the wolves, like, stops the attack, so they all go away. And for the past 6 years, she has been obsessed with the one wolf who stopped the attack, and she's just obsessed with the wolves in general. That's really all she can think about. And in that one wolf, she always looks for him and all this stuff. It's really like she is in love with a wolf. And surprise, surprise, the wolves are actually werewolves. And the one wolf who saved her is a boy named Sam, who is very close to her age. And also, what a big shocker, always looked for her all of those years too, and was in love with her since they were, you know, preteens. Even, whatever. Despite, I think he saw her when he was in his human form, like, one time. She didn't even notice him, but whatever. The story picks up when, I don't even know if I should say picks up, because it doesn't really pick up at all, but it kind of digs off in the beginning when the town, like, Jerky Rich Kid is killed by wolves, supposedly. So all the men in the town, like, decide that they're going to go on a hunt to kill the wolves, because they don't want any of this to happen anymore, and Grace is trying to stop that. And then she thinks she sees this kid who is supposedly killed in the eyes of a wolf in the woods, and she thinks that he has become a wolf. And then I guess she ends up thinking that, you know, they're actually werewolves, even though that thought never occurred to her before. She never had any idea or inkling of them being werewolves, no suspicion, but she was obsessed with them anyway, and kind of in love with one of them, despite not knowing that he was really human. It was really weird. It's explained, the reason is explained in here, but I still thought it was kind of squeaky, and yeah, don't want to go into that. And one of Sam, the wolf, was shot in the hunt, and that causes him to change back into human form, and Grace finds him on her back patio, and then they begin romance. Okay, I knew going into this book that I wasn't probably going to like it, because this is really one where I don't know why I bought it. The other ones were kind of the same thing, but this one, more than any of the other paranormal romances that I bought, I'm just like, why do I have this book? I'm never going to read it. This is stupid. It's just Twilight with werewolves, and But I'm like, this has been sitting on the shelf that one I've had, I think, for over a year. So, like, I just gotta read it, and maybe I'll like it. But I didn't. What I did not know was that I was gonna hate it this much. I almost think that Twilight was better, and I hated the Twilight series. I really did. But this is not about Twilight, so I don't want to talk about that anymore. I did not like this book. I thought, just like it's out of the way, I don't want to diss anyone or offend anyone who likes Shiver or paranormal romances in general. This is just not the book or the genre for me, especially this book. Everything I say is my opinion and is in no way, meant to put down anyone else, just how I felt about the book. Now that that's over with, I hated the book. It was so bad. I was like a third of the way through, and I considered like not finishing it, but I can't not finish books anymore that I own. I have to finish them. Otherwise, I always feel this like nagging thought in the back of my mind that I have an unfinished book, and it doesn't go away until I actually sit down and read the rest of it. So I finished it today because it was my last class for the semester, and we got out really early, so I had like an extra 3 hours, or 4 hours actually, in which to just read because I have no homework. And it was short, I'll give it that. It was quick read when I was actually reading it, because there were times when I just didn't feel like picking it up because I had no desire to go back to it. But the writing actually was good. I will give it that. Maggie Stiefvater is a good writer. I did not like the story or the plot, but her prose was good, with the exception of the cheesy song lyrics that are in there, because Sam is a musician and he writes songs, and the songs are written out on the page. First of all, I've never been a fan of written song lyrics in books. It just doesn't really work. It always seems cheesy to me. I feel like you always have to listen to a song to really get the full experience. To me, always just saying, lyrics written down in the middle of prose in a book just is cheesy and doesn't have the right effect. But I'm sure there's people out there who were a fan of that. I'm not one of them. It was well written. But aside from that, I didn't like it. I didn't like the plot. I didn't like Sam or Grace, who basically, this was the, very definition of insta-love. They fell in love immediately when they were 11 and 12 years old, when Sam was a wolf. And, she loved him essentially for all of those years, not even knowing he was human, which is just creepy. It's creepy, and it's explained in here why kind of she had that obsession, but it doesn't mean I really like the explanation, despite the explanation that I liked it. I just felt really uncomfortable. And then even after he, transforms and she finds out he's a human, it takes all like a day before they start making out. I don't know. It was definitely another thing. Definitely, anti-Twilight was not a very chaste relationship. They definitely had the sexy thoughts going on, and Grace keeps trying to push things to the next level, and Sam was just, trying to be a gentleman, but he definitely had those feelings of lust in him, and I'm not going to say if they actually do anything or not, but I thought that was really realistic for them to have those feelings, but their romance I just thought was a joke. How it's like, oh, you are human, alright, let's just start kissing and we're in love, and I loved you even though you were a wolf. We've just met each other and essentially in our human forms. Sorry about that. My grandma's phone, as I've said, rings like every 5 minutes, and she's not home, so I'm not supposed to answer the phone for her. She's got an answering machine and whatever. Yeah, they've just met, and they have like a couple small conversations, and then they just start making out. Whatever. Is this like supposed supposed to be portrayed as a healthy model of a romantic relationship for teens. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that spiel anyway, because whatever. But I didn't like, it was boring. There was a lot of, cheesy stuff about how they love each other, and so it's told from dual viewpoints. There's Sam and Grace's point of view. So you get to hear their inner monologues, what they think about the other, and they sleep together a lot. Not saying sex or anything like that, but from, the first night, the wolves in this series, they have to, instead of the moon making them change, it's temperature. They change in the cold season, the two wolves, and then in spring and summer, they're human pretty much. So Grace has to keep Sam warm so he doesn't change into a werewolf, and they sleep together. They sleep a lot. There's a lot of mention of them sleeping, and it's just dull. And then later on, there's some kind of action happening with newer werewolves and possibly trying to find a cure, but I just didn't care. I didn't like it at all. It's really not my kind of book. And if you also don't like paranormal romances, definitely do not read this. You have to really be into the paranormal romance genre to like this book, because it has all of the cliches in spades. And I'm not interested in reading the rest of the trilogy, because that's the trilogy, of course, like Linger and Forever. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't need to read that. I had previously been interested in reading some of Maggie Stiefvater's other books. I thought they sounded interesting, but after this, I'm very hesitant. So, if anyone watching this video has read the other books, let me know what you thought of them, if they are similar, kind of the themes and goings on in Shiver, if the other books have kind of that same idea and feeling in them. Let me know, because I want to give her other books a fair shot, because I could tell that she is a good writer, but this was just not the book for me. I will give Shiver probably 2 out of 5 stars. Maybe really 1.5, but the writing was good, and I don't know, 1.5 to 2 stars. I really want to give it a 1.5, but I could see that, she's a talented writer, so, I mean, technically that 1.5 only comes from the writing, otherwise it would be a 0, because I just hated it so bad. I'll be nice today and just give it a 2. Anywho, I'm just noticing my hair is like a frizzy mess. I don't know if it's the humidity or what. That's all for today. I'll see you guys in my next video.